Ladies and gentlemen, Marvel wants us to forget about that Secret Invasion finale because we got a Loki Season 2 trailer today. John, how are you? Good morning.
Good morning. I'm high-key excited for this. How are you?
I'm doing well. Look who decided to show up.
Early and very,
Wow.
come on.
Killing the game.
I'm ready to love again.
Wow,
the game.
here we are with Koi so we can talk for obnoxiously a long time. Ladies and gentlemen, leave a like. And we got a sponsor to shout out today to pay for this guy being here.
This time.
Let's swerve from the path of our regular content and delve into a realm where shadow fights light. Mythical champions become the architects of their own destiny. Yes, you've called it Raid Shadow Legends. It's more than just a name. It's an invitation to a symphony of battles that would make even a dragon tremble. In the mystical expanse of Teleria, darkness looms under the veiled reign of the Dark Lord Siroth. Only you, brave summoner, can conjure an alliance of champions to vanquish this malevolent force. A world teeming with dungeons, formidable adversaries, and breathtaking landscapes is yearning for a hero. From a legion of over 700 unique champions across diverse factions, you can craft an army as unique as a phoenix feather. Shape them into an unbeatable force that will make even the stone golems envious. Outfit them with potential artifacts, imbue them with untold power, and let them unleash their full potential. Test your steel against other heroes in the PvP arena. Battle the great leviathans of the game world, ascend the clan rankings, and become the beacon of glory in the gloaming. The saga of Raid is ever evolving. Witness the terror of the new Phantom General, Akumori, whose might overshadows even the direst of nightmares. Also, if the animated series Raid called the Arbiter escaped your gaze, the complete 10 episodes await you on the official Raid Shadow Legends YouTube channel. So are you ready to seize the sword of destiny and dive into the heart of Raid Shadow Legends? Just summon my QR code or conjure up the link in the description box to initiate your quest. An epic champion Drake of the Lizardmen faction along with a horde of other treasures awaits you. Let's weave our legends together. So don't forget, light the way by hitting my link in the description box or the QR code on screen, and I'll see you in the twilight of the battlefield as the Arbiter watches over us. May you always find victory.
I missed them.
Obi? Hello? We have a little bit of a situation we wanted to run by you.
Mobius! Wow!
Oh,
Nice to
yes.
see you again.
Holy crap.
That's what's been happening.
Wow. Time slipping.
Wait,
The Spider-Verse
slowing
glitch in real life looks
you've
awesome.
seen that?
Yeah.
Can you fix that?
No. It's impossible to time slip in the TVA.
I know, but we just saw it happen.
Yeah.
I've
Oh,
been
trippy.
pulled through time between the past and the present.
Hello?
If what I saw is true,
Sylvie.
there's nothing to stand between this world and utter destruction.
Only one way to find
Gang
out.
girls behind them.
Little good old-fashioned leg work. Listen, we have different styles. You're a man of action, which is fine. I take a more slow, deliberate, cerebral approach. It's really goodbye.
October 6th, officially coming.
Saniac.
It's up to us to save this place.
That's Sylvia who works at McDonald's.
Yes, babe.
Whatever we do,
Oh my god.
we're playing God.
We are gods.
Hey, Rafa!
But how do you choose?
Oh, that was,
Yeah!
yeah.
Make the hard choice.
All right, they showed him.
Whoa, Miss Minutes.
It's on its way. Come on, you're the god of mischief.
Always have been. Always will be.
Oh, girl. Nice.
A little over the top, don't you think?
I thought it was spot on.
Man, the amount of adventures we're going to be going on.
Yeah.
Holy moly. I'd be lying if I said I did not have nipple chills right now.
I feel so much excitement, but I haven't
Chills,
felt
boy.
in so long.
Yeah, I feel like a terrible thing of Marvel did not just air.
Yes, my
Are we
memory has
allowed-
been wiped
I just
clean.
Are we allowed to
Forget
feel
all
good?
I'm just so
Are these
excited.
good feelings without any asterisks or slight tinge of negativity that I'm feeling?
Even when I'm out, I'm in. You know.
All right, guys. So as much as the MCU has been a real like, up and down journey with everything, and you know, it's hard to find fault with anything that it really showed us here in this trailer. It seems to be carrying on what we love so much about the first season of Loki, without ruining what's to come, because you got so much off-kilter adventures that you're seeing on display here. So many teases. You know, Ki Kwan, he's bringing that aloof, charming innocence to his character. And I'm like, wow, he seems perfect for this. And all we saw was like 5 seconds of him. You know what I mean? And you got these teases of Ravonna Renslayer as well during the time period of when we're going to see Victor Timely, which feels comics accurate to. John, I had you look up her name beforehand of what it altered it was. What was it?
Rebecca Tormenay, I think.
Don't try to act like you just didn't look it up.
I looked it up, gang. It's Rebecca
Tormenay.
Tormenay.
What's this?
Rebecca Tormenay.
Tormenay thing? I just said, was trying to get you
I
to
was
be
trying to
on.
remember if it was actually Rebecca or not.
It was like a second ago.
It's like I looked it up a second ago. I should remember this.
It's very early.
I couldn't pull the name, but yeah, with the Rebecca Tormenay of when Victor Timely was introducing these kinds of, you know, science mechanics to the world. And in the meantime, he was also with Rebecca Tormenay. So I feel like we're going to see the history there of how she became to be, you know, the Ravonna Renslayer that we see in Loki season 1, who doesn't have a recollection of these experiences. At least that's what it seems to be. So, yeah, this is this is a great trailer. It's really hard to find fault with anything right here. I'm really, the only thing I'm really like, it's keeping me apprehensive of just fully surrendering to it is the fact that Marvel lately has been a very like, it's
don't mess
Marvel
this up.
Disney Plus especially.
Please don't mess this up. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
John, what you got for us today?
Yes. Aside from the general apprehension of just the way things have been going, this is quite a dazzling trailer. It's got all the timey-wimey stuff that you want. It appears sprawling and jam-packed. Like we're going to have a ton of adventures that all seem, very grave in terms of time and bouncing off the Marvels, you know, with them doing the whole sort of, you know, displacement teleportation thing. And now you've got Loki time slipping in the TVA and all that stuff. Like it looks like it'll add further layers of sci-fi to the already apparent fun and gallivanting across time and space and all that stuff.
Yeah, man.
And then, like everybody who's back looks great, and I mean you get little glimpses of like the Eugene's in here and other faces you know from the TVA. I forget, Guard B129 or whatever is back. Like you know, I really hope they can nail this because this looks absolutely dazzling.
Yeah, I mean they even who's the guy who in the first episode? Casey is that his name?
That's right. The guy like that does the. We see the first Infinity Gems.
yeah.
Is it Casey?
Yeah,
Okay.
well,
I called him Eugene, but
you see Casey there, and he looks like he was imprisoned or something like that.
He looks like he's in some Terry Gilliam
Yeah.
thing where he's like in time prison or something.
fisheye
or the
lens
time
was exciting.
mines. Yeah.
Yeah, because I wasn't sure whether or not we're rewatching. That's the great misleading part about something with a Loki trailer is this the TVA members from the first season? Are they different TVA members? Are these the TVA members carry on and they don't have a recollection of Loki?
Are they variants they're exploring? Are they
Exactly.
meeting them for the first time, or they won't know what they have context?
Because if I'm not mistaken, Loki season 1, they one of the reveals was that the TVA members they were variants, right? Yeah, and they didn't know it either. They were like part
So
of
you
the
might have
exile.
to meet their original selves in this.
Yeah. So there's so many ways to go with it, and I feel like, you know, the amount of adventures that we saw teased here are going to give us more of what we kind of wanted from Loki season 1. Even though I thought that was great, but some people did feel a little bit let down by we didn't get to go enough places.
And those people were wrong.
Yeah.
I think this season looks like it could do the thing that Marvel has needed to do for a very long time, which is unite all of the timeline elements and make this multiverse make sense. They mapped out the multiverse quite a long time ago. This looks like not only does it introduce certain Sony elements, like the way the time slipping looks, which is directly pulled from Into the Spider-Verse, but now as a live action entity, but you get elements that could tie in what they're doing with Deadpool 3, because we know Miss Minutes is going to be a factor. This morning, Miss Minutes actually shared a la the world of this trailer. So we get certain elements that are going to tie into what they're doing with the Fox implosion, which we assume is going to be Deadpool because of the Fox universe to a point. This could also tie into what they do next with Madam Web, because this comes out this October. Madam Web's out in February. I could see this tying in what Sony does and what Fox does.
Let's not get that far.
I'm saying this could be the thing that gets us on track.
That's their priority. We gotta connect to Madam Web,
guys. You guys gotta look here. I'm gonna look here, and somewhere in the middle we get Loki season 2. Now this is Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead, 2 directors I absolutely adore. If you haven't seen their other work, they're absolute geniuses, and they do so much really ominous dread. So we see a lot of fun here in hijinks, but what I love is
they did Moon Knight, guys.
Those are our words, Coy.
Ominous and dread.
Yes.
Well, there's a lot of duplicitousness and the duality in there. But I really think there's going to be a great a world where we can have all the humor of having Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston, which is my favorite part of the first season, is just those great dialogue scenes. But with these guys directing it, I'm excited to see what Victor Timely does behind the scenes. We see that shot of all the Kangs coming at them through the scripture wall. Like we see a lot of things that talk about this war. So I'm really excited to see what they bring specifically with their tone to the fun world of Loki, which isn't not dark and full of dread.
Well, yeah, they seem to
Rafa Cassell.
They seem to bring an actual like macabre sense of humor to the whole picture, because there is a bit of a dark glee that it's kind of leaning into. Now that we're looking at Sylvie in these imagery, and you know what it is? Actually, what I just realized about this whole thing is it seems to actually be a little bit more like Everything Everywhere All at Once, which is a little apt towards it. And there are parts of Sylvie especially where it seems to me that she does not have a recollection of things.
Seemingly.
Yeah.
New haircut, now at McDonald's.
Yeah, haircut at McDonald's, but she seems lost. Like she's at a place at a time in a lot of ways. Like this is not what her identity belongs to. Just the looks that she was giving, and then she's slowly finding herself. Maybe that's when Loki goes to like pull her out of it in some way. Like,
And
I'm really not sure.
Kang is able to control everyone else except Loki. Maybe that's why he's time slipping. I'm wondering if everyone else has lost that context, but he couldn't trick Loki. I also think it's really interesting that at the end of this, in the comic books, because of how popular Loki is, you may have noticed in the greater continuity, Loki was a villain. And then Tom Hiddleston is just so charming. So they actually, in the comics, changed him from the broader definition of God of Mischief to the God of Stories, because they wanted to have him be less of a villain. So at the end of this trailer, when he says, I'm the God of Mischief, always have been, always will be, it seems to be implying that he goes back to his villainous side. So I'm very curious as to what the manipulation of Kang turns Loki into, because he seems to be the only one that has the full grasp of what's going on.
Yeah. So, John, we'll throw it to you. Jonathan Majors in the trailer. Do you think he's innocent? Do you think he's guilty? Should he be in the trailer? Let me get it all to you. Make it all about that.
I have all the evidence.
Make it all
guys.
about
Listen,
that, John.
I think they should have put more Jonathan Majors clips in. I think he should have been most of the dialogue of this trailer. I feel like that's really the way to just meet things head on, just to be like, hey, guys,
I was hoping we could just
out.
put this to the side for a little bit. And so then we could just talk about Kang being here, since he's going to be in here regardless, since this was already done before any of this stuff went down. We're going to get it, but you have to make it all controversial.
That's my goal. You know, Marvel needs to embrace the controversies.
In all seriousness, I was kind of surprised that they actually did show him, even though it was just a clip from Quantumania.
They just show his face.
He said a line of dialogue, and it was a new line of dialogue.
It's still pretty much the same tease.
No, 100%. It's the reveal, but now with dialogue.
Yeah.
Like,
It's the most acceptable bare minimum.
It was a questionable thing of like, oh, will they show him? Will they? Like, regardless of whether or not you believe he's innocent or not, right? It's not even about that. It is about that. I'm just saying that we're like, he's such a controversial figure at the moment that I was surprised that we did see him. But
they wanted to give lots of people thumbnails.
If at the same time, it would have been. It would have been controversial to not show him.
There was no winning there.
It's a no-win situation.
I think this is about as much as they could have done, because everybody who's paying attention knows he's in the show and knows that they can't just go back and retool the whole thing. So I think, just confirming, like, he's gonna show up is about as much as you need for a trailer like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then just letting the rest play on the intrigue of the mystery and the mechanics.
I
and
think
all
it also allows there a certain element of like, who is he for people that don't follow all the nitty gritty of like, you see Kang, you see Victor Timely. It doesn't quite connect those dots. So there is like that undercurrent of the Emperor Palpatine behind the scenes, which I think is smart to keep him that way, because we don't know how much he's going to be in the show. We know he's the big bad, but I like that there's an undercurrent of like what's happening throughout this trailer.
Yeah, that's the whole vibe of it. Even with Mobius, I'm unsure. Like the way that the opening images go, this could be the same Mobius.
Yeah, could.
Or
Maybe not.
Could not be
Different
the same
haircut, but
Mobius.
he's allowed to get haircuts. My only criticism, no jet ski.
But yeah, no, I don't think they would want to show us that in the trailer.
Season 5.
I feel like Marvel MCU trailers today would show us that, but
That's the concern. They didn't do it.
That would
for
be the
season
end
2.
button. Yeah.
Part of the dynamic, though, that I think does have a cool flip to it is it seems that Loki's more leading the way
Yes.
on their dynamics, whereas before, obviously in the last season, Mobius was more the knowledgeable one and more leading the way for Loki to eventually find his own identity throughout the course of the series. But here, it feels like Mobius is more of that supporting role.
Well, it feels like they took him seriously at the very end of Loki season 1, just by what we're seeing here. Is he seems to clearly be the one who knows how big of a threat Kang is, and also all these things happening to the timeline being somewhat directly responsible. So maybe, they are just deferring to his knowledge.
It's out in 2 months. I'm so excited.
I'm excited for it too. My one concern.
You said the top.
Yeah, my only concern that I really have about it is the fact that they did change from Kate. What was it, Kate Herron?
Yeah.
That is my one concern, which you told me about that change. I didn't know about it until recently, and it just read to me like, a bit of a Scott Derrickson, Doctor Strange situation where the person who's very, very passionate about the thing they helmed now had to leave, and they brought in someone else. Yeah, and then sometimes that different direction that is being mandated by studio does not equate.
I don't want my Loki forced
storytelling.
to being like a transitional building block.
And while these directors are good, I wasn't a big fan of the Moon Knight finale. Ultimately, who's to say if that was really their fault or not? Sure. I am a bit apprehensive only because of that, and again because of what the MCU has been like lately, where it can be such an up and down journey. But Loki season 1 was pretty awesome, and many consider it the best series out of the Disney Plus library. So
Hope episode 6 doesn't end with just punching stuff.
Let's see how it goes,
100
guys.
Kangs.
What did you think about this trailer? Leave your thoughts down below. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hey, we'll chat with you all soon. Thank you for being here.